10,122 runs from 125 tests at an average of 51.12 with 34 centuries, an unyielding opening batsman with a near-perfect technique, someone who fought as furiously for the pride of Indian cricket as he did in protecting his wicket. One of the most inspirational figures of Indian cricket, Sunil Gavaskar, celebrates his 60th birthday today, the 10th of July, and though he stopped playing cricket more than 20 years ago, he remains, by force of his personality, one of the most influential figures in world cricket. That he would be a major international batsman was evident in his debut series in West Indies in 1970-71, a series that was also India's first victory in that region. He made 2 half-centuries in the second test at Port of Spain, and that set the tone for a phenomenal debut series. Gavaskar recalls in his book Sunny Days that he feared that he might not be up to the mark in his debut test. With 774 runs at an average of 154.8, which included 4 centuries in the series, all such doubts were put to rest. Gavaskar's batting was based on the purest of principles: balance, a still head, sure footwork, economy of movement, and the perfect temperament for test match cricket. He never allowed his concentration to waver. He had all the strokes, but he kept a few of them under wraps because India relied on him heavily, and for most of his career, occupation of the crease remained his sole focus. But when the mood took him, as it did against West Indies at the Ferozshah Kotla in 1983, he could be scintillating. His 100 came off 94 balls that day. Indeed, Gavaskar's record against West Indies, the dominant team of his times, underlined his greatness. He battled the most fearsome and the best pace machine in the history of cricket and came out with his reputation enhanced. In 27 tests against them, he made 2,749 runs, which included 13 hundreds at an average of 65.45. The series win in West Indies in 1970-71 was followed by a series win in England in the same year, but one of Gavaskar's biggest personal triumphs in England came 3 years later with a century in the first test on a green top in Manchester, his first century in 3 years, an innings that he rates as one of his personal best. 5 years later, he scripted a masterpiece at the Oval. Chasing 438 in the final innings, Gavaskar compiled a monumental and flawless 221 as India finished on 429 for 8, only 9 short of an amazing win. Len Hutton described it as amongst the finest innings he had seen. It is little coincidence that Gavaskar's success was mirrored in India's success. In 1976 in West Indies, in the third test of the series in Port of Spain, India chased down a record 403 to win the test, with Gavaskar anchoring the chase with 102. In the 125 tests that Gavaskar played, India won 23, including series wins against West Indies, England, Pakistan and Australia. He was also one of India's most iconic captains, and his test average suffered very little due to the burdens of captaincy at 50.72 over 47 tests, marginally less than his career average. He scored a century in his first test as captain against New Zealand and led India to test win in Australia in 1980-81 in Melbourne, a match that will also be remembered for his outburst against Dennis Lillee after being given out LBW, which even led him to almost staging a walkout with his partner Chetan Chauhan. Gavaskar began his one-day career in utter ignominy, scoring 36 not out in a World Cup match in England, but became a competent one-day player. Though he was part of the World Cup winning squad in 1983, his personal high point in the shorter format came in 1985 when he led, brilliantly it may be added, India to win the World Championship of Cricket in Australia. He became the first batsman to cross 10,000 test runs in the Ahmedabad Test against Pakistan in 1986-87, which was also his last test series. And he ended his test career with a stylish 96 in the last test of that series, a match that India lost by 16 runs. Gavaskar's exploits generated self-belief among the cricketers to follow, not least Sachin Tendulkar, who inherited his mantle as India's best batsman. He encapsulated qualities like dedication and determination, technique and temperament, patience and professionalism, which form the cornerstone of his legacy to Indian cricket. Qualities that he continues to display in his career as a television commentator, analyst, columnist and administrator. Gavaskar's value to Indian cricket extends to both on and off the field, and it would not be an exaggeration to say that he is indeed a father figure of Indian cricket. With Ranjit Shinde, this is Akhila Rangana for Cricinfo.
This is Cricinfo Talk.